Hey guys, oh, and let me have a quick look. Okay, who do we have in today? Let me just, hi guys. Mr. Bolos, good afternoon. How are you? Right, guys, we are live now and just watching the markets. And to be fair, um, not really seeing anything. Obviously, the market broke down below this area, but at this point, I was at one of my well, not one of my at antenatal class, so unfortunately wasn't looking at the markets. So we just need to re-amend the structure on the charts. As you can see, price is broken out and now retracted back in. So our new support level is down here. That means our range has changed. So let's just have a look at the range. And we also have a potential wick fill. Should we get a close below here, we can look for a wick fill down to the 51.55 price point. Um, so let's just have a look what that price is. 51.68.50. So we need to amend this now. Sells below 51.68. Let's call it 0.4 just for a little bit of wiggle room. There's no scheduled news. It's been a little bit of a choptastic day thus far. We are seeing a green board across the all markets and asset classes. Um, maybe the NASDAQ might be a better market to be trading today. Let's have a look. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so we've broken out of this nasty little range, but we are only 25,200. No, it's okay, 100 points above. 4 hour is breaking out of structure, as we can see. Let's have a look. So most recent structure here on the 4 hour. Next structure we can see is there. So plenty of free space to trade into. We drop down to the hourly. Yes, we've broken above that. To be fair, the trade was last hour while I was the uh, in the antenatal class. We just been so structure. We're going to adjust to these highs. 30-minute. Okay, so based on what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ, I'm looking for BPC trades only. Okay, so BPC trades only right now. There's not going to be an option for a breakout where we currently sit. No problem at all. So last night we had a big speech from Donald Trump, apparently the longest one on record, covering all aspects of US economy, global politics, wars, Iran. Um, what did we see in the markets in that period? Well, if we have a look, this is pretty much when did it start? It was 2 a.m. when he spoke. So indexes dropped. They came down to a baseline level here, basically around 24,950. And then since that, they've started to rally. If we look at gold, gold on the flip side at 2 a.m. and through that area, we had a big shift to the upside, little consolidation, and then another move through the early hours of the pre-European session. And then since then, we've been on a decline up until what's that, 11:30. Now, 15-minute structure has changed, as you can see. I'll just put this in here at 51.63.50. Let's do that. So as I'm looking at this right now, there's nothing that really is enticing me. I'm not looking for longs on gold. I'm not looking for shorts. This area now, the no trade range has got a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's probably going to be a quiet session unless we can get some moves on the NASDAQ. Hello, Lightning. How you doing? I'm guessing W stands for welcome. So yeah. Oh, let me just. Something's missing. Yeah, Lightning. I did the broadcast, so it doesn't matter. Can always change the graphics afterwards. It's not a problem. Probably something a little bit flat today. I'm expecting on the basis that we have no news unless Mr. President speaks or something out of Iran-US negotiations comes to the table that is a little bit different to what the market's expecting. All right, let me just put on a little bit of royalty free. Otherwise, I'm going to go advert. So who've we got on the stream? We've got Oscar. Good afternoon. How are you, sir? Anyone else joining that's keeping quiet on the sidelines? So, okay, game plan for today. This is my game plan, and it's all I'm going to do. So, two options. I'm looking for a breakout above 5203. So, what do we need to see happen? I need to see a candle closure above 5203.2. Or I need to see a candle closure below 5163.4. That's my two game plans. Now, looking at where gold is, we've probably got more chance of seeing price pushing up to 5203 in the next hour or so. So that's my game plan. I'm looking for a breakout long or a breakout short. Higher time frame. How on the hourly, this won't happen in this stream though. On the hourly, we could look for a false break at 5203, providing we get nice big bodied candles up to 5203. We get a close above and then a rejection and a close back below. So if we think about how we want to trade based on a premeditated, a pre-planned approach to the market. So we're outlining that plan right now. While we're outlining that plan, how many of you right now in here don't have a plan? So if you come to the market, you look at it and you go, right, I know exactly what I'm going to do if this scenario happens. How many of you come to the market and go, well, if I see a bullish candle, I'm going to buy, or if I see a bearish candle, I'm going to sell. You go with your gut feeling because the charts are just flickering with your emotions. Let me know. Okay, another one of our guys. So the whole thing that we have to do here, guys, is plan everything we want to do, and then you wait for the market to come to you. And this is going to be this is the hard bit. This is where human emotions, you just want to get involved. I don't know. It's like I guess people that go to the casino, all the flashing lights, it triggers dopamine within the brain, makes you want to do things. When you should walk away, you don't walk away. You carry on doing things that you shouldn't be doing. So, but if you go to the casino with a premeditated plan, ELT. Come on, who's that? I always forget. I always forget that. But remember, you don't know the volume. I always forget. Is that Terry? ELT 17. Erin. Hi, Erin. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting better results in the US session. Um, London has been a bit tricky, um, but it provides opportunities. So I'll never stop trading it because it's something that I've always done. But if I look at where I've taken trades and where I've taken losses, the amount of times it's been where instead of looking at, let's say, I don't know, if I go back to, where was it? I think it was in this, I think it was here. Was it? Basically, there's room between these ranges because it was this one here yesterday. There's there's room because there's 60, 70 points up to the top of this range. But coming into the morning, I was like, right, we're going to buy above here, we're going to sell below here. And I took this trade here and then closed half out, gave it a second opportunity, and then got stopped out underneath this low. So I basically took like 1.5 trades on this same setup. It went where I wanted. My trade setup and the trade alert I put in the group, they all hit T1 and then got stopped out. I didn't because I used trade management technique, waiting for if price broke the candle low, I closed it, and then if it broke the highs, I gave it a second opportunity. Now, unfortunately, it didn't work for me. In that instance, I ended up losing $3,000 on this little trade here, but it did go to where I wanted for what would have been a full take profit and would have been a $3,000 profit. But the reason I'm saying this is the market has changed the volatility, meaning in this period, we don't know what's happening, accumulation, distribution, we've no idea, but we know that the market's going sideways. And whereas we used to look at 50, 60 points as being a big range to trade into, now I'm looking at 50 points as my first take profit. I'm going, well, I could hit 50 points before we get to the next structure level. The downside to that is it's you're reducing your potential reward and probability of success because yes, there's 50 pips, but you've only got a 20% margin for error on the basis that there's 600 pips or 600 pips on the basis to 60 pips, I should say, to get to the next level. So if I'd have just waited for price to break here or break support, then boom, we'd have made decent returns. I didn't get my money back yesterday until I waited all this time for it to come down here, and then we got a buyer candle, which is basically what I told people to look for after the live stream. So we cut off live stream at 2:15 yesterday. Buyer candle came in exactly at 2:15, got the wick down, bought the highs. I said to the members in the live chat in our members community afterwards, I said, please tell me you caught the buyers. We waited all the time for this, but I gave specific rules for those that stayed on. I said, listen, if you're gonna trade, just wait for a buyer candle. I have to go at two. Literally, I think I went at 2:05 because I had a session at 2. I said, look, wait for this, and this is exactly what it did. Setup played out, and we got over $20 move, 200 points. Lovely, lovely trade. So now, looking at today, we're doing something similar, right? The market's just giving chop. Um, we did say we'd look for sells underneath 51.77 there or thereabouts, but the real trades for me are going to be above 52.03 or below 51.63 now. So it's just about patience. I found that MI, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Tudor. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Apparently, but then again, you never know. There was something said about Tudor the other day that Mickey van der Ven was ignoring his instructions on the pitch. I don't know how true that is, but we'll we'll see. I mean, big game at the weekend. Fulham away. We've got to pick a win up somewhere. Even if they can buy a win, I'd be. Can the Lewis family not stick hands in the pockets and buy a win for us? Um, yeah, so we're going to wait for that. We just looked at the NASDAQ. Mm, if we can get a seller candle, then we've got resistance. We need a seller candle to form resistance. Then we can look for a breakout. Hmm. Any questions, guys? Any questions while we're waiting for the markets to let's readjust. All right, how much range do we have now? 50. It's enough. Okay, so we've got enough room on the DAX to push higher should we get a breakout. But at this time of day, I'd rather be trading the NASDAQ if uh, what's that? Yeah. Um, who else have we got in today? It's been a bit quiet out there. Um, uh, I'm surprised we had a Coy's message based on the state of play at our place, but let's hope something can be revitalized. Yeah, so listen, we're going to wait for potential. We've got to wait for this candle to close in 2 minutes. Uh, gold, we're not going to get a setup here. Yeah, so listen, it's all about patience, guys. Um, you know, as Warren Buffett says, the uh, the exchange of money in the markets is from the impatient to the patient. So don't don't put pressure on yourself to take a trade. Just wait. And when it comes, seize the opportunity with both hands. Anyone else in here today? Who else we got in? We got Erin, we got Anna, we got Lightning, we got who's been quiet, and we got Will, and we got Vic, we got Frankie. Who else is in? Oh, you know what? I've just realised. Did I forget to share it? No, it's in. Um, Yeah, this when it's like this, guys. Live stream is always it's a little bit of a challenge because obviously I work better with feedback from you guys. So if you sit there quiet, it's very, very difficult because there's not a lot we can talk about other than we can think about the process, the type of price action we can look at. This the ways that I'll always look at price action is if you're making trading decisions, the best type of candles to have are full-bodied candles with small wicks. Where you start seeing lots of small bodied candles and wicks to the upside and downside. All of a sudden, then you know that there's a lot of indecision in the market. If there's indecision in the market, it's like anything. Whenever there's indecision, stay out until you have concrete evidence. And concrete evidence is just going to be seeing the market pushes out of those structure, out of that uncertainty. And that will give you the direction. And then once we've got that, that's the clue to then start taking trades. Yeah. So yeah, look, if you wanted to trade the wick fill, you've got to think what are you going to look for and how big is the wick? And is it something you can take advantage of? So first thing is if the market closes below 51.63, what have we got down to fill the wick? Roughly 90 pips. Now we've got 90 pips of wick. If we then take into account, well, the candle's got to close below there and we've got to get below the wick. You don't really want anything $3 below the level because that's going to take your wick down to around 60 pips. Then you've got to add your spread in, which best case scenario with most brokers is going to be around a pip. Yeah. So then you're down to 50 pips. It doesn't really make logical sense to be doing it. Yeah. So you always want to, whenever you're looking at the market, you want to have your levels defined, understand how you're going to trade from them. What type of trades would I be looking at, right? So based on gold and what we're seeing right now, I'm not going to be trading BPCs. I'm not going to be looking at range. I definitely don't want to be taking a flip entry. Why? Because flips I would only trade in strong trend. BPCs would only trade after you've seen a breakout. Now the range you could look for if price taps 52.03 and rejects, but that's only if we have solid candles leading up to it. So this time frame wouldn't work. That's why when I looked at it earlier, we said, right, based on the hourly, if we get 2 or 3 solid candles up to 52.03, and then we get a seller candle, um, we could look for trading opportunity. Yeah, does that make sense? So, what news is that that's just coming in? Okay, nothing really interesting. Yeah, nothing. I thought it was going to be something worth reading, but it's not. Yeah, just so let's just wait. NASDAQ seems to be pulling back a little bit, which I don't mind that. Now we've broken out the NASDAQ. Yeah, lower time frame we can look for. So look, what are you seeing right now? What kind of dynamic are we seeing, guys? If you look at this price action, what are we seeing? Welcome to the live chat. Now, how many of you are part of the free Telegram channel, or let me know if you're in the free Telegram channel or if you're on. Yeah, exactly, Oscar. Momentum's fading. Tennis ball effect is kicking in. We've got big momentum candle, smaller body, smaller body, smaller body. While we're getting smaller bodies, we're also getting wicks to the upside and to the downside that are greater than the size of the body. So that shows you the transfer, the um, flip between buyers and sellers is kicking in. All right, let's have a. And okay, a little question being. All right, I'm just gonna. Okay, I just fired a poll into the chat, guys. Just remember, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. Just let me know what you think. No idea, help me. Love it. Make sure you click an answer, guys. Yeah, so we've got some people thinking it's going higher. Some people, no idea, help me. Drop your answer, guys. It's just a multiple choice. Remember, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. If you are stuck, guys, if you are stuck and you're looking for a little bit of help, um, we will be opening the doors and enrollment will be coming back on again for joining Marco and Concepts. Now, the idea of um, the doors being open, I'm only going to have enrollment 5 days every month. If you don't enroll in those 5 days, the next month you have to wait until the next month. Okay? This is I need people to be committed there and then, make decisions, and know that if they don't make the decision, then there's going to be a delay. And the reason for this is like the market. If you have your setup, if the market gives you a setup and you don't take it, then guess what? You have to wait until the next setup. If you then start trading without waiting for the next setup, then you're gambling. Okay? So always make sure you're following those set rules, the principle. Sorry if I keep moving again, guys. I'm not as bad as I was this morning, but I am still in a whole heap of pain. Right. Right, I'm just waiting for the market now. Sorry, 1 second. Oh god, I can't read it. 301 probes on forced labor, seafood. Oh, Greer deflects. What's this? Something about the EU. Greer deflects on if EU will rise to 15%, says details to come. Ooh. Okay, so no ideas until we break out. Until then, we are as cool as ice and patient. That's pretty much it, buddy. We are as cool as ice. Well, believe it or not, we've actually got sunshine in the UK today. We have sunshine. I think this is like we had a little bit the other day. I think this is like the second day of sunshine this year. It doesn't mean it's warm, but it's all right. I'll settle for this right now. Everyone else got sunshine in the UK, wherever you are? Just waiting, guys. Waiting. Oh, did we get? No. 4 minutes for this candle to close, and then okay. So, oh, is it going to go too far? If it goes too far, then we can't do anything. Yeah, I think this one's going to go a bit too far for us, guys. Okay, yeah, not enough. So look, if we got a 20 pip first take profit, next structure's 25 pips away, same as what I was just saying a minute ago. So best case scenario, candle closes where it is. Then we've got to let the next candle wick down and then break the high. So we've got to add a couple of pips spread on top of the high. So we don't just get triggered in if price gets to the same high. We want it to go higher. So that's going to take the potential pips available to 23. That's if it closes where it is. With our TP at 20 pips, you only need to get slipped 2 or 3 pips, and you're not going to get your you haven't got your 20 pips before the structure level. So I'd leave this trade now, guys. So this is now. Do you think I'm going to put the level here now, or is it going to go somewhere else? What do you think? That can go. That can go. Oscar, in Kenya, it's raining like every day. We are used to. Oh, I'd love a bit of sunshine. This is just okay. So the poll so far is showing 60% of voters are saying it's going to go higher. 20% are saying lower, and 20% are saying no idea, help me. Okay, well, yeah, Anna's all right. She's just come back from skiing 3 meters of snow. She's fine. No, and Anna's look, she probably had sunshine there as well. So look, just going too far, way too far. Not even 20 pips now without adding spread. So we're only looking for buys above 25,163. I brought a bit of sunshine to the UK. Well, thank you, thank you, and right. 1 second, guys. So, uh, okay, this is a very, very quiet session, guys. Yeah, and Anna, thank you for bringing back the sunshine. Shame you couldn't bring the Alps back with you or the Pyrenees, wherever you were. I'm not sure which side you were on. Bring them back, and a good 3 meters of snow would have been lovely to just nip off when the markets are like this and there's nothing to do. Yeah, zero. Okay, so save. Okay, so okay, we can actually look at NASDAQ long now because we've got resistance formed. We've pullback. We can't look for a BPC trade because we don't have enough pullback candles. But what we can look for is a breakout if we get a close above. And there's definitely an element of risk because we're seeing uh, Bitcoin up 3.8%, Ethereum up 6%, NASDAQ's up about 0.5%, DAX is up 0.4%, gold's up 0.86 today. So markets are definitely a little bit more buoyant today. Dollar's down. Yen's getting battered today. Yeah, super quiet day, guys. I mean, literally, there is zero happening for me. Bitcoin, yeah, obviously that's doing a little bit of something, but there is nothing happening. Guys, please don't forget to give your valuable likes. Yeah, that's always appreciated. Thank you for that, Lightning. It's anything if you, I know we're not taking any trades today. I know it's been very, very frustrating, but sometimes you make more money out of taking zero trades than you do by taking them. What do I mean by that? Well, imagine you're taking a trade and you're just taking a loss because you got impatient as you wanted to take a trade. But yet, instead of being impatient and trying to force a trade, you decide to sit out the market. If you have a look at all the times that you took a trade when maybe you shouldn't have done. You've either been more aggressive because you just had a win or you've had a good week, but yet the market didn't really give you the opportunity, but yet you still took a trade. Had you been, let's say, a little bit more disciplined and sat out the market, waiting for a much cleaner setup, how much more capital, how many more pips would you have secured that week, that month, that year? So always think that in the back of your mind before you place a trade. Is this really a top quality trade? Is it going to help me get towards my goal? Or is it going to hinder my goals? So let's see if we can get a breakout on NAS. Anyone new to this stream? If you're new to this stream, just let me know. All right, DAX is popping. And let me know what asset classes you trade. Do you trade anything new, or are you the same as what we do here, which is DAX, NASDAQ, and gold? But like I said, it's been a quiet week so far. Oh, ready for a bit of food as well. Not had anything today. So quiet, but this is where we just really, really need to hone in on being disciplined and not just placing any trade for the sake of placing a trade. Oh. Well, just looking at the poll, results are staying the same. Where do you think gold is heading? 60% say higher, 20% say lower, and 20% say, I have no idea. Help me. Well, it's kind of how I feel right now. Knackered. Someone help me to get through this next however long. Let's have a look, see what time my next client is. No, I've got about 15, 20 minutes. But it ain't moving. Nothing's moving. If NASDAQ can get above there, I'll trade NASDAQ long, but I don't like it short. gold, I'm not doing anything. We've mapped it out. Gold, we're going to buy above 52.03. In fact, let's get our orders set. The only ones I'm interested in. So let's set a gold alert. Oops. So we're going to breakout long. I'm going to leave the short off for now because I don't feel like we're going to push that. Oh, there we go. All right, NASDAQ. 4 minutes. Oh, come on, stop. Yeah, we've got loads of room. It just needs to slow down a little bit. It's already 15 points above the structure. If we get 30 points above the structure, I ain't taking it. So if we get 30 points above here, I'm not going to take it. 3 minutes. So guys, while we're on stream, if there was any type of content that you would like for us to discuss, what areas do you struggle with, and what do you think? How could I help you? Oh, so what do you think would be the best way we could help you using this live stream 2 days a week? Now, alternative setups on higher time frames. Alternative setups such as, do you mean same asset classes or different asset classes? I mean, I don't trade higher time frames, so I I wouldn't be looking at higher time frames on here. So okay, that's a good one. Boredom during this kind of slow market and how to counter the urge of trading. Okay, so I think alternative setups, same classes. Say that again, Will. Same classes. Oh, okay. So I get you now. So basically, still looking at gold, DAX, and NASDAQ, but how could you trade them on a daily chart or weekly chart or 4 hours? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay. So look, I mean, if you want to trade on a higher time frame, you can still use the same principles that we teach in the members community, which is your breakouts, your BPCs, um, flips, all of those range trades. The setups would be identical. Love a flip trade, bet you do. Hey, How is everything, bud? Any updates, by the way? I didn't want to ask, but um, hopefully on the mend is what I'd like to hear. So let's just have a quick look at 4 hour, for example. Now, if if you're looking at higher time frame, you have to appreciate you're going to have to look for bigger moves. Okay, so you need bigger, clearer space. On this basis, in theory, we're setting up for a breakout trade on NASDAQ on the 4 hour. So I'm just going to remove what we were looking at, which is this being here. So if this happens, next candle, if this closes like this, next candle, if it wicks down, you buy above the high and you look to trade up to here, 25,269, 170 point move. Now, on that basis, you're going to have a slightly bigger stop, but you're not going to actively manage the trade like you would do on a 15 or a 30. You're not going to drop down to those time frames. Um, you'd still use the 4 hour candles and say, right, if price breaks the high, I'm going to move my stop underneath the low of the candle. If it wicks down and breaks the high, move it underneath the low. If it just goes straight up, move it straight underneath the low. Same principles, don't change anything. The only thing that's going to happen is your trades are just going to take a bit longer to achieve target or to get stopped out. Mm-mm. Gold's boring. DAX, we're waiting. NASDAQ, we're waiting. Yes, no setup. So listen, but I struggle to make them. Uh, yeah, I mean, but it's a different style. That's for swing trading, and I don't really want to go back to swing style trading. I don't have the patience for it. Not done it from what coming up. What are we now? 2026. About coming up 6 years. So yeah, I, I I don't have the patience for it. So I don't mind taking over a couple of the sessions here and there, um, but it's not something I will actively talk about because it's not what I do. I did it for 10 years. I just one thing though that you would have to think about as well, Jez, because you want to look at those swing trades, the way that you use your risk management wouldn't work. You wouldn't be making the returns that you are based on the way that you trade on these day setups because you'd have to massively reduce your pip value. So the number of lots you trade, you would have to massively reduce that to take the higher time frame setups to accommodate the stop size. Oh, and therefore you're going to make a lot less capital. You know, right now you're doing super well with your returns. making nice withdrawals every week. So I would just say don't try and focus on more just yet. If you wanna increase what you're doing, just increase the lot sizing because you're doing well. Don't try and do something else. You're you're winning. You're beating 90% of the market. So, and this is where not just new traders, intermediate, advanced traders, this is where they can get caught up. Sometimes it might get a little bit slow. And this is what I think Lightning was asking. What can you do to curb that inner urge of placing a trade? The only thing you can do is find something else to do and set your alerts. Because ultimately, right, if price doesn't get to where you want it to get to, you shouldn't be placing a trade. So you don't need to be in front of your screen until your alerts go off. So once your alerts go off, then you come back and you start executing your system to perfection, whatever that system may be. Yeah. So don't force things, just wait. And the market will explode into action at some point. You just need to be ready and waiting for it to do so. Yeah, this is probably going to be a very quiet session. Yeah, because I need to go in about 7 minutes. But yeah, it is probably going to be extremely quiet. Uh, I can't believe it's Wednesday. The weeks are just flying by. Hmm. Okay, so NASDAQ, we can get rid of this now. NASDAQ, we're looking for support to be formed. Once support forms, then we can look for buys. I mean, I just think it's slow on the basis that there's no news to move anything. They're just waiting for Trump to speak or something to come out of US Iran tariff talk. Something like that needs to move it. Until that happens, or there is some data that will actually move the markets, then it's probably just going to be a little bit of an ebb and flow, little tussle between buyers and sellers. It is also half term in a lot of places, so no doubt flows have been reduced a little bit. But yeah, it's quiet, and we can't help that. We can't force it. Uh, yeah, sorry guys. I know it's a quiet session, but what can we do? What can we do? There's nothing we can do. Nothing we can do whatsoever. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys, because I don't see any point in. I mean, this one we've got to move another sort of like $15 before we contemplate a trade. DAX, yeah, there's potential if we get above 25,163. NASDAQ, well, there's nothing until we get a pullback for me. So I need to see some kind of pullback for a BPC. So we're looking at it on the hourly chart. We need to see at least after this candle, two downrange bearish candles, followed by a bullish candle. So that's at least 3 hours. So nothing's going to happen on the NASDAQ until 5 o'clock at least for me. So yeah, it's going to be quiet. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up now. I'm going to call it a day. I don't think I'm going to be getting a trade. So apologies, guys. It is a quiet session, but there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yep, time to wrap up. All right, guys, I'm gonna check out now. There's zero on the table for me. So stay disciplined, stay good, and members, I'll see you bright and early in the morning. Okay, bright and early in the morning. Let's hopefully we can get some positive moves in the market tomorrow morning. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.